Teenagehood is the time where a lot of physical, emotional, and cognitive changes happen, and a lot of questions start rising to the surface, which results of a lot of teenagers having a hard time knowing how to deal with these changes that are happening, and also feeling confused about finding the answer to all of these questions that they have. That's why in today's episode, I will give some advice to you based on my personal experience about how to deal with this phase of your life, and also tell you the things that I wished I knew during that period of my life. And the first advice that I want to give is your personality and identity is not fixed. And what I mean by that is don't obsess too much over finding who you are and finding that identity or values or beliefs or hobbies that will stay with you for the rest of your life. And if you find who you are, everything will be fixed and you won't ever experience some identity crisis in your life. And that is so far away from reality. And I wished someone told me this because obsessing so much over that is so tiring and it stops you from exploring and changing your identity, and your personality changes the more you grow and experience life. And there are some certain things that you used to enjoy will not resonate with you anymore. And even beliefs as well. And that is fine. You can let go of them and leave space for something new. And I see this obsession online with aesthetics where they are so specific and tell you exactly how to behave and how to be, and people are so attracted to it, especially teenagers, because it gives them that sense of control over their identity and themselves, which puts that pressure on them to not break the rules of that aesthetic and to follow everything in it, and it doesn't leave some room for exploring. When you are a teenager, that is the time to explore and try new things and change your opinion about stuff. And this is not reserved only when you are a teenager, but it is the same thing for adults. What resonated with you 1 year ago doesn't mean it will resonate with the current version of yourself. Stop obsessing so much over having labels because they can stop you from growing, because whenever you will want to change, you will push that change away because you are afraid you're not going to be your authentic self anymore. And you are going to betray yourself and become a fraud because you don't identify with those beliefs or labels anymore. And even it can push you into using these labels as an excuse to not fix your situation, because you're like, I am this, I am that, so I can't do this and I can't do that. And this is not me at all. And you close yourself from changing your opinion and growing. For example, when I was in high school, I had the phase where I was kind of heavily identifying with the sad girl aesthetic. If you know, you know, who is so deep and no one understands her, and she feels things so deeply, and she listens to Lana Del Rey and Taylor Swift, and her music taste is so unique, and acting like the rest of people in this world don't feel deep emotions too, and I am one of a kind. Oh my god, literally every time I remember this, I feel like I'm gonna go crazy. But anyway, that label that I did put on myself did stop me from trying to see some beauty in the world and try to adapt some positive mindset, because I was like, that is not me and I am going to be boring. And when I wanted to change, I felt like I am not being my authentic self, and I did push change until I realized it is okay to change your mind about things. The next advice is you will get a revelation telling you, here is your passion. Instead of sitting down and brainstorming what will you love doing and what is your passion, and waste your time thinking about it and waiting for it to come to you, start doing and start trying stuff by picking skills and start learning about them and see if you enjoy them or not, and also see if you are curious to learn more about a certain skill and to get good at it. Because when you find yourself curious to learn more about something, that is a good indication that is something you will love to do in the future. Immerse yourself in learning about different subjects and trying things in your free time by taking courses online or downloading books for free and read them, or downloading free softwares online and learn a particular skill on them. For example, if you are interested in graphic design, you can download apps online and you can from them learn graphic design and see if it is something that you are interested in or not, because passion comes after doing and not before. You can't know what you like doing before trying stuff. When you start learning a skill and you see yourself getting good at it and you are more curious to learn about it, you will start developing a passion for it. And let me give you a personal example to understand more. When I wanted to start this YouTube channel, it was more of experimentation and wanting to try something new, because it was something that I was curious about. And when I started doing it with each video I am making, I started developing a passion for it, because I fell in love with how creative this field is, and also it helps me to develop my skills in writing and speaking in English and learn new things. And from this example, you can see that I did not waste my time thinking about, am I passionate about YouTube? Am I passionate about starting a YouTube channel? Is it something that I will enjoy, etc., etc.? I actually started doing the thing and taking action and experimenting with it to see if it is something that I will love doing or not. Because I can't sit down and say I am passionate about YouTube because I watch YouTube videos. Watching YouTube videos is so different from creating YouTube videos, you know. If I want to know if I am truly passionate about YouTube, I need to start making videos. And there is a lot of people who stop themselves from trying something because they're like, I am not passionate about it, even though they've never done something before. Bro, just start doing the stuff, or at least like learn about it if you don't have the capacity to go all in for it in your free time, to see if it is something that you will actually be passionate about or not. And from this YouTube example, you can see that passion, it is not something that you will wake up one day and you will get blessed with knowing what you want to do. Also, when you're gonna start learning a skill and later on you will find out it is not something that you are interested in doing, don't see that as a waste of time, because it helped you to know what you don't like, which is equally important to knowing what you like, because you know where to not put your energy on and what to avoid. And by the way, there is this misconception about passion and finding your dream job, which is you will enjoy every single minute of it, which is not true, because sometimes you will get annoyed and frustrated while doing your passion, because nothing is perfect and your passion will have advantages and inconvenience. You just have to ask yourself, are you ready and okay with dealing with this inconvenience? Is this passion worth dealing with this inconvenience that it comes with? If the answer is yes, go for it. If the answer is no, try something else and do something else, because there is some people who are okay with dealing with the inconvenience and they want to pursue this thing 100% and they are okay with this inconvenience. But at the same time, there are some people who are not. They don't want that. They want to enjoy their passion and they want to let it as a part-time, something that they do in their free time. And there is no right or wrong answer. It's just you who will decide if this passion, it is something worth pursuing 100%, or it is something that you want to keep in your free time. The next advice is, if the person that you call your friend and this friend pressures you and forces you into doing things that you don't want to do, like smoking or getting into relationships or drinking or vaping or something like this person is not your friend, because a true friend is not going to tell you, if you don't drink or get into a relationship or something like this, I will not be your friend anymore. Or tell you, you are so boring, learn how to have fun and drink. They bully you into doing what they want you to do, and you start feeling guilty about not being interested in these things, and you think you are a weirdo or there is something wrong with you because of the peer pressure that you are experiencing, and you are torn between doing something that you don't want to do because you don't want to be left out, and at the same time you are feeling gross about it. And I want to tell you something that I talked about in one of my videos, which is the nightmare of not having friends and being miserable, that makes you follow the peer pressure in order to avoid living living the nightmare. It actually opens the door for you to live the nightmare and experience it, because you're not going to be happy when you are in a room with people that you don't connect with, and deep down you know that this friendship is just shallow because it is based on doing superficial stuff in order to be considered cool. But you don't want to admit that to yourself, because again, you want to avoid the nightmare, but you are already living in it, and you will just keep pretending all the time. You and the group are going to be miserable because the friendship that you guys exist in is shallow. There is no basement to the relationship that you guys are building, and also you guys are just pretending all the time to be an image that you guys are not, and you keep looking for things that will validate you and make you feel like you have worth and you are cool, especially when it comes to products. I see both online and in real life teenagers basing their worth and personality around products, because they think that these products will solve their internal problems and insecurities, because they were sold that illusion from these brands, and also they see their friends having it, so they want to be cool too and buy it. And I can't blame them for that, because in our brain we have these neurons called mirror neurons, whose main functionality is to mirror other people. Whenever you see someone cool having something, you start associating being cool with having that thing, and you start to desire having that thing because you want to be like that person. And let me give you a simple example to understand what I'm trying to explain. Let's say you saw a beautiful woman on Pinterest wearing some cool clothes that fit her very well and she looks beautiful on them. You will think that if you want to look good like her, you have to buy the clothes, and if you buy the clothes you will look exactly like her. That's why you see some people getting disappointed when they buy the clothes and they don't look like the model who is wearing them, and they think they look ugly compared to the model, and they're not cool like the model or the influencer. You being cool is way more deeper than the superficial stuff like having the latest iPhone or smoking or vaping or whatever. Being cool comes from your character and how do you make people feel, because that's what people will remember. When I look back at my high school years and I think about the people I studied with, I remember their character and how I felt around them and what experiences I had with them. And all the people that I thought were cool is because of their character and how they treat people and their energy. Like I said, if someone will judge you based on what product you use or whether you have a relationship or not to determine whether they will respect you and hang out with you or not, they are not worth your time. You will feel drained whenever you are around them because you guys don't connect together and value very different stuff. And don't try to seek their validation by trying to please them, because you will lose at the end of the day, and the more you will seek their validation, the more you will lose yourself in the process. I see chasing validation from others as trying to reach the end of the universe, where when you are in the process of trying to reach it, you get tired and exhausted because the end doesn't exist. The universe is always getting bigger, and that is the same thing for seeking validation. The more you try to seek it and reach the end goal, where you finally get validated by everyone, you will get exhausted in the process because the end doesn't exist, and that validation that you are seeking starts getting bigger with time. It is better to be loved by few people and you connect with in a deeper level than trying to please everyone and be liked by everyone, because trying to appeal to everyone makes you attract no one, because people see you as desperate and people hate that and they get disgusted by it and they lose respect for the person and they don't want to be around them, and even if they are around them, they do not care about them. That's why you see these people who try to appeal to everyone in their class and they have a big group of people they know and they think that those are friends. Meanwhile, this group of people, they just hang out with the person because they see them every day and that's it. And when there is a birthday or when they go out, they don't call that person to hang out with them at all. And this person gets shocked because they think those are my friends, but those are not your friends. You label them as friends because you give that title to everyone. Stop labeling everyone as your friend. It's not because you see someone every day in class and you talk to them, then they are automatically your friend. There is strangers you know, and there is a friend, and you need to be picky about who do you put in that category in order to know who are the people who deserve more your attention and care, in order to deepen the connection with your friend who is also doing the same thing. And please be careful about who you hang out with, because the people that you call your friends can be one who will send you to your grave. And I am not saying this to make you cynical about everyone, where you see everyone as bad and evil. I am saying this to be picky about who you hang out with, because sadly not everyone is a good person and there are some crazy people out there, and you need to protect yourself. And one of the examples that I can give is the son of my dad's friend, who is also a teenager and he is now 16 years old. He got into an accident where he is now fighting to be alive in the hospital. He is in coma, by the way. And the reason is because of his friends who told him to get in the car with them, because one of them stole the car of his parents and they wanted to have fun, and he was driving very fast and they got into an accident. Some of them died and some of them are in coma, and no one knows if they will make it or not. Please be careful about these things, because this is not a joke. If you want to have fun, there is other harmless ways to do so. Also, there is another important subject that I want to talk about, which is addiction. And it breaks my heart whenever I go out and I see teenagers suffering from these addictions, and from their eyes you can see they are so lost. And one of these addictions that I see in real life is vaping. And it breaks my heart to see teenagers being 13 or 14 or even 12 doing this stuff because of peer pressure, because they don't want to be left out, or because they have things going on at home and it is pushing them to do these things to escape, and they think it is harmless, especially with vaping, where you have these different flavors that smell good, and these companies take things that already exist and that we loved as children, like candies and snacks and chewing gums, and they create these packagings that remind you of those snacks and candies, and they bring up good memories and associations. And also the smell of this poison also reminds you of these candies, and you start associating these products with candy and snacks that you love and have emotional connection to them, which is a very powerful marketing tool to use, because when marketers make the consumer connect the product with things they already love and they have memories with, and you give them experience with the product and they associate the product with positive things, it is way more memorable for them. And if you want to learn more about consumer behavior, I recommend this book called Biology. It is a very good book that talks about all of the mechanisms that influence our purchasing decision, and it is good to learn about these things in order to protect yourself. And in the case of this poison, they do this too, where they make you associate the products with these flavors that you already know and love, which creates that familiarity, and it lowers your defenses and you think it is harmless, and you tell yourself, let me just try it out because the smell doesn't stink like cigarettes, which means they're not that bad. And also you see their marketing campaigns where they market it as something cool, and you will look cool among your peers and they will respect you and you are edgy and rebellious. And the reason they tap into this message is because they know that's what teenagers want to be. They want to be cool and edgy and look cool in front of their friends and be respected among their peers, which is something that we all want to be. But this is not the way to be cool. Being cool doesn't mean that you will kill your health. And sadly, some teenagers fall for it and they think they are being cool and edgy and rebellious, but they are destroying their health. Destroying your health in order to be cool is not worth it. Plus, it is so superficial because you start associating your worth with consuming these products. You think you are doomed and destroyed, and no one will look at you and love you and hang out with you if you don't consume this stuff. And that is not true, because you can be cool without having to do these things, and you can do that by building your character, where you go out of your comfort zone and you you try new things and you learn about things and you have hobbies and passions that you love and you treat people good and you take care of your health. I swear, like the most cool people and charismatic people that I've ever met are the ones who literally invest in themselves and they love themselves and they try things and they have things going on in their lives and they don't just associate themselves and their worth with this superficial stuff. The final advice is a basic one that you all know, which is being grateful for what you have. And I know some of you are rolling their eyes at me, but genuinely I say it. Start being grateful for what you have. And I wished I understood the importance of it when I was a teenager because I used to hear it everywhere, but I've never cared about it because I thought it was cringy and unnecessary because I had this mindset of when I will have everything, then I will start being grateful and appreciate the things that I have. But now I have nothing, so why bother to do this practice? Because I used to see people online having so many things that I don't have, and I would get angry that I didn't have it, and why my parents could not afford to buy it for me, and all of that jazz. And it made me go crazy because I was focusing on what I don't have, which made my brain start looking for things to confirm that belief. And I ignored all of the things that I do have, and it did put me in a mental state where I didn't see opportunities at all, and I didn't notice good things that were happening because I was in that self-pity cycle. And when I deleted social media because it destroyed my well-being when I was 17, and I'm so grateful that it did destroy my well-being at that moment, because if it didn't, I would not have taken the decision to delete it. And when I did delete it, I actually started noticing all of the things that I have, and the things that I was going crazy to have are actually not that important, and I can have a fulfilling life without them. And when I started being grateful for the things that I have and not focusing only on things that I don't have, my well-being got so much better. And I advise you to take a break from social media, especially if you feel like you are so behind and everyone is rich and you are the only one who is poor and there is no hope for you and you have nothing, etc. etc. Take a break from social media and reconnect with real life and start doing this exercise of being grateful for things that happened in your day or in your life. And by the way, I just want to clarify something about gratitude, which is being grateful doesn't mean you will not have things you want to achieve or you should not feel in negative emotions at all. I don't mean that at all. You can be grateful for what you have and at the same time having an ambition and wanting to achieve more and feel sad because of something that happened. Not everything is black and white, and you will have bad days as well. And in those bad days, feel whatever comes up in order to move on. Don't force yourself to be happy immediately and to be positive immediately. Like, feel whatever comes up in order to move on and to clear your brain, and then you can start, feeling positive again. I hope that you guys found this helpful, and if you want me to go more in details about something that I talked about in this episode, tell me in the comment section, and see you in the next video. Bye.